Good evening from Washington. I'm Larry O'Connor, and as we've been saying all week long, all hell is about to break loose on our southern border. We've been seeing the harrowing videos from our colleague at Town Hall Media, Julio Rosas, who's been reporting there live for the past 10 days, as not only do we see illegal crossings increasing on a daily basis, but those who are lining up and parading through the nation of Mexico from Central America to get ready for the Title 42 provisions to be lifted tomorrow has become a mass of humanity the size of many small states in America. Yes, all hell will break loose tomorrow on the border, but here's a story you're not going to hear much anywhere else. Hell has already broken loose on our border. We have been breaking records for the last 10 days. It's insanity, and there's no stopping it. Joining us right now to give us a live update is Ira Mehlman. Now, he's the media director for Federation for American Immigration Reform. Things look a little calm behind you right there, Ira, but I'm not overstating the case, am I? It is a nightmare right now on the border.
It is. They've moved a lot of people away. We're standing in front of the Sacred Heart Church, which is one of the gathering points for people who have been processed by the Border Patrol and then released and are awaiting transportation elsewhere in the country. We were here last night. These sidewalks were filled with people who were camped out. There's an alley over there just out of the camera range. It was lined with people. They came along this morning. As you can probably maybe see, there's a garbage truck cleaning it up right now. But it is, it is something out of Dante, what is going on here, and it's about to get a whole lot worse.
Ira, it would be great if you could do us a favor. I'd just move over to where Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is weeping on the sidewalk there because of the humanitarian crisis. I'm sure she's there, isn't she? I know she cares deeply about this.
I'm sure she does. But, it's not just here. We were actually out on the border last night, and we went to one of the gates, the series of gates that opened between the United States and Mexico. And what we saw was amazing. We sent up a drone. There were hundreds of people lined up on the other side of the border. We could see them. Eventually, the Border Patrol came and opened the gate for them. The troops that President Biden sent down, they're not here to protect the United States. They are not here to secure the border. They were there to help process the people, move them away. We stood out there. We watched them bring people across the border, put them in vans, drive them away to processing centers. I assume some of them will be here. But, you walk around, everybody is holding their packets with their notices to appear, sometime in the 2030s, by the way. Not any time really soon. And they're on their way. About 100 yards from where I'm standing is a bus depot. These are the private buses that are transporting people all across the United States. So it's all taking place right here. What we saw at the border was maybe 10 miles from here. They come here, get on the buses, and we'll probably never see them again.
Yeah, sending military troops there to help process people and to help facilitate the administrative flow. I'm not joking. It's like sending troops to the DMV to make the line go faster. That's really tantamount to what we're doing here. And I heard the president yesterday was asked about this, and he said it's going to be chaotic starting Thursday. First of all, it's already chaotic. But secondly, Ira, haven't they known about this for months? I mean, it's not like this whole Title 42 thing has come up as a surprise to them. Why aren't they prepared?
Well, if you heard Alejandro Mayorkas at his press conference this morning, he blames it all on Congress. It's got nothing to do with the Biden administration's policies as far as he's concerned. What he is complaining about is Congress isn't giving them enough resources to process people even faster. And that's really all this administration wants to do. They want to get people and move them away from the border as quickly as possible, give them notices to appear sometime in the 2030s. Even if they show up, the chances of anybody being removed after being here for 7, 8, 10 years is very, very remote. This is simply a way to get as many people in as quickly as possible and avoid the bad optics. They don't want pictures of people huddled on the banks of the Rio Grande. They just want to make it as smooth and pleasing to the eye as they possibly can.
Secretary Mayorkas may be factually correct when he says there aren't enough resources to facilitate bringing people across the border, but that's because the money that's been allocated to the Border Patrol has been allocated to patrol the border. The money is there to do their job, which is to enforce our laws and to secure the border, but not to act as, the line keeper at Disney World, which is really what Mayorkas wants them to do, Ira. That's what it seems.
Yeah, and if you look at the president's 2024 budget proposal, that's exactly what it is. More money for processing and transporting people, finding them temporary housing, not any more money, in fact, even less money for people controlling the border. So
Yeah.
the administration's goal here is very, very clear. It is to get people in here, move them away from the border as seamlessly as possible so that it doesn't look bad on TV. And then, figure out what to do with them 10 years from now, which is essentially going to be just leave everybody here. And it's, there were 10,000 people that were encountered just in the past 24 hours. If you factor that out over a year, that's 3.65 million people who will be coming across the border if it continues at this pace. And the expectation is that tomorrow night, when Title 42 goes away, that those numbers are going to go even higher. So we could be talking in the neighborhood of 5-6 million people. Who knows?
Yeah. By the way, the state of Indiana is 6.5 million people. That's how many have crossed the border already since Joe Biden became president. So this is a catastrophe. If you care about our country and protecting our sovereignty and our borders. I got to ask you, though, as you're standing in front of this church, and I'm a good Catholic, and I know that there are great people who work at Catholic charities, but I keep hearing about these non-government organizations who are making a lot of money processing all of these illegal aliens when they cross the border. Is that part of the problem? Is there sort of a quiet financial incentive here where organizations like that are actually making a ton with this humanity passing through their doors?
Absolutely, and it's not just Catholic charities. You got, all the various religious groups have their refugee resettlement programs. They take the money. Obviously they spend some on resettling the migrants, but it also pays their bills. So this has become an industry for them. It is a money-making operation. And look, I mean, if anybody's been watching what's been going on with people who are coming to this country, the stories in the New York Times and the Washington Post about children being pressed into hard labor to pay off these cartels, there's nothing humanitarian about it, not from the perspective of our government, and certainly not from these religious organizations. And if you look around here, 90%, maybe 95% are single adult men, probably in their teens and 20s. They're coming here for work. So this is not, families, it is people coming here as economic migrants under the guise of being refugees, and the government is not only turning a blind eye, but facilitating it, and these religious organizations are complicit.
Yeah, is there any, and we've only got about a minute left here, and I really appreciate this live report from the center of the storm here. Is there any indication from what you can see in terms of the city resources there, these poor towns, they don't make enough tax dollars there in Texas to be able to accommodate all of this. I know that Governor Abbott wants to ship these people up to New York as soon as possible, but the facilities in these towns must be taxed well beyond the limit.
I'm sure. And by the way, Governor Hochul is not looking forward to that, but she asked for it. Yes, I mean, within a block or two here, we've got to have half of the El Paso Police Department deployed. So it is taxing the resources. They are running out of space. They expect that after Title 42 ends tomorrow, that they simply will have no place to put people. Right now, we came by last night. They were camping on the streets. I mean, obviously, it's mid-May. The weather is kind of nice, but it's still, godforsaken situation here, and it's going to get a whole lot worse.
It's no way to run a country. And this is all, I just want to remind you, we've been telling you this every day this week, this is all of President Biden's doing. The laws are on the books right now. If they're enforced, this situation would disappear. This president refuses to enforce the law. There's more to come on O'Connor Tonight, Salem News Channel.